Thank you, Chairman, Ranking Member, and of course to the witnesses for coming. Wow, I can't believe I just heard my ears. I spent 12 years in the U.S. Army, deployed overseas as part of the global war on terror, another 10 years in law enforcement. I literally just heard my colleague across the aisle say ICE is committing terrorist attacks. I don't think you can get a clearer example of where folks stand when my colleagues on the other side of the aisle compare federal law enforcement to terrorists at a time where we have literal terrorists that I deployed to fight committing attacks in the homeland. That's incredibly disappointing to me. It's incredibly disappointing to me because as a police officer for 10 years, I know what the path was that led me to Congress. I watched all of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle push to defund law enforcement. They ran on this message, they opened our borders, and that's what's happening today. Democrats continue to defund the police just by refusing to pass the Department of Homeland Security Appropriations bill. I know it, I saw it as a cop, it's what's playing out today, and they've done it not once, but twice. This isn't conjecture, go look up the votes. H.R. 7147, this is the Department of Homeland Security Appropriations bill. Look up the votes on H.R. 7147. Look up the votes on H.R. 7747. This is the second Department of Homeland Security Appropriations bill. Go look at the votes, follow the actual facts. And then, Mr. Chairman, not just me saying this and referring to the votes, this is The Hill. I'll read you the headline. DHS shutdown stretches to 35 days as Democrats block funding bill. A motion to advance the bill failed 47-37, falling short of the 60 votes it needed to overcome a Democrat filibuster. Centrist Senator John Fetterman was the only Democrat to vote yes. Mr. Chairman, with your consent, I move to admit this to the record.
Without objection.
Thank you. We know what's happening right now. We have the Department of Homeland Security shut down because Democrats have never moved on from defunding the police. They've never moved on from their open borders policies. The votes back it up. The Hill backs it up. And while this is happening, critical agencies like CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, is being shut down. CISA has blocked billions of cyber threats to our civilian networks and critical infrastructure in 2025. The Coast Guard, key to combating drug trafficking in the Western Hemisphere, and I'll remind my colleagues, drugs under the previous administration killed 400,000 Americans. That's shut down. Wildfire risk in Colorado is at an all-time high due to drought and an unusually dry winter. The Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, which ensures that law enforcement is trained, is shut down, which is ironic because I keep hearing from Democrats that they want ICE agents to be trained better, but they're shutting down the very entity that helps with federal law enforcement training. TSA callouts are at a record high across U.S. airports, and as of today, 460 officers have left TSA. Travelers are seeing long lines, and you can see behind me that we literally have Denver International Airport, which is the airport I fly in and out of, asking for gift cards and donations to their TSA agents so that they can maybe make ends meet and keep coming to work. And so my first question to Administrator McNeil, how many people, especially parents, would accept a job with the promise of intermittent gift cards instead of a secure paycheck, and how have these shutdowns impacted your agency's ability to recruit and retain officers?
I think you're absolutely right, Congressman. We have heard a report back of folks that have been interested in joining the TSA and had plans to, but you know, with the situation this year and us being in our third shutdown, it's really hard for them to go home and tell their family, this is the job that I'm going to take. It's a job that pays me half the time for my work. And so I think that is really a challenge for us. And then for the officers that are there, they're continuing to show up under duress, honestly, right? Financial duress, and they're continuing their commitment to the traveling public, and we could not be prouder of them.
Our thanks to those TSA officers. In my remaining 45 seconds to FEMA, I spent 12 years in the U.S. Army, Black Hawk helicopter pilot. I've flown on wildfires, fought wildfires. We're facing historic drought in the West. Tell me how FEMA not having the funding impacts their ability to do the pre-planning for some of these major disasters, including wildfires.
Yes, Congressman. Like I mentioned earlier, we have about 45,000 people a week. Those are emergency responders, leads for states on response efforts that are missing out on critical training. Wildfires are ongoing, as you know, right now. And those impacts of them not getting that training may not be measured, but it is being missed out. I hear every day from external partners, how much it's impacting them.
Our national security is at risk. Fund the Department of Homeland Security. Yield back.